Hey there everyone, welcome to the middle of the year. We are the 2nd of July and it is World UFO Day. So we're going to make a UFO. Come join me as we give it a go. I think I've got an idea. I think I've got a plan. Maybe not. All right, let's just wing it. Ha, wing. Oh, it's not the same. All right, bye. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to start with this mold, and it's just a plate mold that I am going to use the UV resin and just go around putting the UV resin in, making sure it's getting into all those little gaps, and do that. And what I'll do is I'll do 2 of these and then join them together. Alrighty, let's get the UV light on it. Alrighty, and let's take it out and see how we went. Alright, it's a little bit sticky, so I might put some UV resin on it. It's got some bubbles, that doesn't really matter to us. It hasn't got the side, which we're going to cut off anyway. So I'm just going to cure this a little bit longer because it is a bit sticky. All right, well this middle bit's definitely cured, it's just the outside. So what I'm going to do now is just cut off these end bits. Oh my gosh, that's a weapon and a half. And I am going to just sand around so it keeps it sort of dome shape and any sharp edges. What I'm also going to do is just scuff up the edge and the back. And what this will do is make a mess on my desk. So what this will do is, I've got another one here prepared earlier, is that we will just be able to put them together to start our flying saucer shape. So what I might do is I am just going to use more resin, and here it is here, and just dot it around. So at first all we want to do is glue the top to the bottom very easily. Yep, and cure it. Oops. Oh. All right, so that should be cured by now. And what I'm going to do is, I've got some little bit of holes, so I'm just going to go around and clean that up. And again, cure it. So mainly this spot here bubbled up, and so I just put some more resin in there and is just curing it now. And now what I will need to do is I can just go around and sandpaper it off. So I'll go ahead and do that now. It's pretty disc-like now. I was looking through my book last night and I actually had a drawing, so I'm going to try and create something a little like this. I probably don't have the angle on the middle circle, but we'll try and create something that really kind of resembles this. I kind of like it. Okay, some more resin, and we will do a few of the circles in here, and let's just see how they come out. And this is the only other circle. Okay, while I was still UV resining, curing the bits I had in here, I also went ahead and did a circle one down here. What I want to do is kind of just gauge how I can get my alien look, and I might put that here just so that we can remember what it looks like. There we go. So we've got a bit of a bump around the bottom, and I found these washers, and what I think I can do is kind of just use a few of these washers to kind of get that below bump and then do that. So that's a bit big. Let's have a look at what came out of here, and we've got a great dome, and this is a bit more of a diamond shape, so I don't really want to use that. So this is probably the best one I have, and I might be able to use some more washers in order to do that. So I've got the big washers here. If I've got 2 washers, does that sort of, I've got to do something to make this a bit more round, but then we've got that, and then we can have the dome on top. Does that look anything like what we're after? What I can also do is just build up the side of resin and then try and make it pointy. Let's do that first, and that will take a bit of time, so I'm just going to go way ahead and do it and then come back and see what we think. Alrighty, so I have put some resin around the edge and then sort of tried to make it a little bit pointy to create the base. What I've also done is created some little resin dots, and I'm going to use this one just to put on the bottom so that it gives it an extra dimension. So it's kind of been a little bit of error and trial here. I might put it on this side. Actually, I'll put it on this side, and then I'm going to push this down, and hopefully it goes through. Oop. And that looks pretty good, I think. Sort of gives it a little bit of dimension, but we don't want too much. All right, now to build up the top. So I'm thinking of adding 2 washers. I mean, that looks pretty good. All right, that stuck together pretty well, actually. I was worried that the resin wouldn't go in, but I suppose going in from the side made it a little easier. All right, and then we make sure I've got the correct one. Going to, and then I've got to decide. So I've got this little, it's probably a little bit hard to see, but it is like a little dial, whether I put that and then a spike up the top, or whether I put in this dome, this one here. This was the best dome. So mainly I'm building up this bit at the moment, and I'll see if I can find some diamante things to put around the edge, and then the dome, the top and the spike. So there we have it, kind of pretty happy with that at the moment. Okay, it doesn't feel domey enough. Okay, so we've got this little dome here, which I feel is kind of a bit too small. We have this dome here, which I feel is kind of a better size, but it is in a diamondy shape, which I suppose I can pour a thin layer of resin to do that. And we've got this dial here, which I feel is way too pointy. So what I might try is I might try this dome over this dome and see if I can beef it up a little bit because it's really kind of my favorite one. Alrighty, I sort of just kept going, but I've added the bulge on top, even though it's a little bit lopsided, still looks great. So there is my UFO, and I'm going to add one of these to it and then cut it off. So let's do that. I have some diamantes here, and I am going to use them to put around this bit here. And I can see it, I can see it. Oh my gosh, they're tiny. How am I going to... I wonder. That looks so cool and was easy. Oops, sorry. I'm just going to move this a little bit forward. Come on, stick. Must be a lump or something there. And another one. Whoop. All right, let's cut. So we've got some extra diamantes there. We'll put back in here and put away. And we're going to, I think, about there. There we go. What I might do, no, some things don't pan out. So there it is there. Let's go ahead and paint it. And I, of course, use my white gesso to do so. Alrighty, I'll be back after I've painted it. Alright, so I'm just going ahead and painting this, but I'm just making a white gesso base because I want to just put a primer on. It's just a primer, and I kind of will always do that. All right, I'll let that dry. Alrighty, so I've decided to put some legs on this ship just while it's painting. It's drying, obviously. I am too impatient to worry about that. Alrighty, so here is our little spaceship, and I've gone and added some little legs to them as well as a bead on top. So I'm kind of leaving the other bit raw because it looks a little bit like an antenna, and I'll do another coat of the gesso, and hopefully it'll dry before I go to trivia tonight, and it'll be able to dry while I'm at trivia. Alrighty, I'll do this coat and we'll come back. I'm going to, after I have done this coat, oh no, it's too far down. Oh well, it's not perfect. Working with resin can be so temperamental sometimes. There we go. Ah, it's looking good. I will put some grey acrylic paint on it, and then I'm going to sort of do a base coat before I do the silver. Alrighty, I will see you guys later, and we'll come back and see how it goes. Thanks, everybody. So it turns out I was talking to a camera that wasn't turned on, but I wanted to show you that I've now put a coat of silver on it now, and he's looking pretty cute, if I can say so myself. And I'm going to let that one dry and then add one more coat, and then we'll start doing the decorations. Yeah, welcome back. So trivia came 8th, but we did really, really well. And this little guy here has dried, and we've got some silver paint. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a black wash. I'm just going to do a black wash over it, and then I might add some white or light colors to it. So let's go ahead and start. I'm always really scared of a black wash, whether I've got the right amount or too much or too little. It's always a little bit hard to tell sometimes. But all we want to do is just go on everything and let it try and set in the grooves and bits and pieces, and then it kind of defines the silver a little bit more. I mean, it's looking pretty good, and just gives it a little bit more of definition. I mean, do I go and remove some of it now? I suppose I do, and I'll let that dry. Actually, it looks pretty good. I think it was the right amount. Yeah? I mean, we don't. How much do we want to age it? Oh, so many questions. Do I want to use another colour as well? Might go have a look in the paint box. But at the moment, we've put a little bit of a black wash, which sort of helps with the colour definition. Quite like it. So there is our little guy, and I have some colours here after the black wash. I have green, which I'm going to paint around here. I know they were green diamantes, but I kind of liked that. I have orange, which I'm not sure if I'm going to use yet, and I wanted to use this brass colour on the feet. So let's get going. I'm really afraid of using this green because it's quite intricate little dots, and I have one of my thinnest brushes, and I don't know how good I'm going to be at just painting the dots themselves. Because I want them to be sort of like light, so therefore I didn't want them to have the wash kind of on it. So that's why I've kind of, all right, I'm not doing too bad at the moment. Oh, they're a bit close together, those ones. There's no paint on there. I need more paint. And still going round. And, why do I always put my finger into it? Literally. Nearly finished. The other way to do fine dots is through a ball stylus, but I don't think it would have worked for this one. So there's my little green lights. And now I want to use this. I don't know what it looks like. I'm trying to bring colour to a predominantly grey area. So let's... Oh, do you know what I was going to do? I was going to do like a whitewash, but I suppose it probably doesn't need it because these are just the legs. So the rest is silver, but this. Whoops. All right. Let's add some white highlights to it. I think that looks pretty cool, and I'll play around with some of the paint. Hey there everyone, well we did it. Happy UFO Day on the World UFO Day on the 2nd of July 2024, and this is our little UFO, which is really kind of cute. So let's put him in our successful craft day of the year's video. All right, everyone, I hope you have a great day, and I will give you some good shots of this little guy. Although this is probably the best to do it because there are some flaws. But anyway,